Lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now. Lesbian detective. Lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready, let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the lesbian detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here talking about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I am so happy that you all came back, even new people that just joined us. We are a new podcast starting off. We're talking about true crime.
We talk about our theories. I think that's what makes us different than all of the other podcasts, is that we give our input no matter how crazy or how small. We just give it all.
I think because a lot of podcasters true crime podcasters are scared to give their theories. And when I was listening to podcasts, I was like, man, like, what do you think would happen? Like, I always wanted to know what the person telling the story thought about, and they never did it. So I was like, hey, let me start a podcast with theories. And sometimes, you guys, you do call us out because we got called out on 2 cases. Like, no, we don't believe it. But that's okay because I'm okay with you calling me out because you have your opinion and I have my opinion.
Right.
I'm not going to make you change your opinion. I hope you don't make me change mine.
And theories, we're just throwing things out there. Stuff that we think could have happened. It probably didn't happen, but it just kind of shed some light into the possibilities.
Right. Anything could happen.
Yep.
The craziest idea. Like, trust me. If there's some theories, I'm like, man, I think that happened. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
Today, I'm going to tell you about a case when a couple went out missing after a night out. They broke up just a while before they went out, but they decided to go out and see a band because they love music. They had an amazing time together. They was hugging and kissing. They made sure to make time to see each other later in the week. As they said goodbye to their friends, walked to their car, that was the last time that anyone has ever saw them again. This is the case of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone.
My ex actually asked me out to go to a concert with her, and I'm glad I turned it down because that could have been me.
Really couldn't, but okay. Danielle Imbo was born on August 7th in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to parents John and Felice. Her father was a singer who went by the stage name Johnny October. He rose to fame in 1950 as a member of the doo-wop group The Four Dates, which eventually became a backup group to the popular singer Frankie Avalon. I Googled him, guys, because I never heard of him before. I'm just going to be honest.
Me either, and I'm Hispanic.
Right. I'll let you listen to some of his songs later. It was good. I liked it a little bit. I was like, okay, I downloaded a couple of them.
Okay.
But I didn't know who he was. As a daughter of a musician, Danielle developed a deep love of music and enjoyed singing and attending concerts. She also was an avid reader of murder mystery and worked as a loan processor. Those close to Danielle knew her as a kind, outgoing person, as well as a dedicated mother to her 18-month-old Joe Jr. Richard Petrone Jr. was born on August 29th, 1969 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to parents Richard and Margaret. He was described as a hard worker, laid-back family man. Richard was a devoted single father to his 14-year-old daughter, Angela. He worked at his family bakery in Pennsylvania. Like Danielle, Richard loved music, especially rock. He initially enjoyed watching sports and was a fan of the Chicago Bears. In 2004, Danielle's husband, Joe, he flew to Houston to see the Super Bowl, leaving behind his wife and his baby. Both of them had a cold at the time. When he got back, he announced that he met another woman on the plane and he wanted a divorce. Okay.
He left his newborn baby to go watch a damn game.
First of all, you stuck on that part. He divorced. He leaving his wife for another woman that he met on the plane.
Right.
How long was
Well,
this?
I was gonna get to that too.
But how long was this flight? For you to like be serious about somebody that soon? Though she was shocked and deeply hurt, Danielle, she complied with Joe's wishes and the two began their divorce procedures.
I mean, yeah, if they don't want you, they don't want you. You gotta move on, go your separate ways. Like, it's so hard to see women like stuck on a man that doesn't want them, or vice versa.
For you to get on a plane and meet a new woman that fast, he didn't love her. He was looking for her out already.
Right.
Like, as I always was told, the grass is not green on the other side.
No,
It's like
but
she
if-
looked shiny and appealing then, but a couple months or a year later, she's not.
Yeah, but if he was miserable in his marriage, the other side is better.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Sadly, the separation took a toll on Danielle, who began chain smoking and dropped a lot of weight.
Dang.
This is when Richard came into her life. However, they hit it off immediately, and the two began dating.
Like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
And we're not calling women trash. Let's put it out there. Women rights, women rights. Richard had never felt this way about a woman before, according to his daughter Angela. Though the pair was happy together, Danielle, she was still in the middle of a painful divorce. She decided it was best for her and Richard not to see each other for a while, so she could focus on her baby and getting through her divorce. As much as it hurt Richard, he respected her wishes. He stayed away. As I said before, the grass is not green on the other side. Joe's new relationship, it ended.
Yeah, I mean, they only met themselves on a plane for a couple hours, if that.
And he was soon knocking on his ex-wife's door, asking, can we get back together?
Do not enter. Too late.
Right. While she still had feelings for her husband, she also felt like the divorce was the right decision. Joe was alleged had control issues and a short temper. His plea for them to get back together ended very quickly.
Yep.
On one of these occasions, Joe reportedly became so angry that he threw his son's high chair at the wall. On February 19, 2005, Richard was eating dinner alone at a bar when he decided he wanted to go somewhere to see live music. However, he didn't want to go alone, so he called his sister, Christina, and asked if she'd like to join him. She declined, but she passed the invitation on to Danielle, who was happened to be visiting at the time because Joe had their son out of town. Richard knew he was doing. Let me tell you something. Richard knew he was doing. He wanted to see his old flame. He was like, oh, sister, let's go out. Like his sister didn't say, hey, I'm going to see my friend today. Come on. Richard and Danielle hadn't spoken in weeks, but she accepted the invitation to his surprise.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Right. He picked her up in his 2001 black Dodge Dakota, and the two of them went to a bar called Abilene in Philadelphia South Street, meeting up with some of Richard's friends, Anthony and Michelle. They watched a bar performance, and by all accounts, nothing seemed out of place. In fact, Richard and Danielle looked very happy together. They were sitting super close and kissing inside the bar. They also compared their schedule for the following weekend so they can set up another date. Anthony and Michelle asked the couple to go out to another bar, but they both declined, explaining that they both had an early morning the next day. Then around 11:45 p.m., they prepared to leave. Then Anthony overheard Richard saying he would drive Danielle home before he returned to his own house in South Philly. They walk outside into the evening air together, and they haven't been seen or heard since. The next morning, Danielle, she missed her appointment, and throughout the day, both her cell phone and Richard went straight to voicemail. Their family became extremely concerned. Danielle's brother John decided to go check on her, using a spare key she had given him to enter her home. It was dark inside. Nothing seemed suspicious or out of place. But by 3 p.m., The time that Joe Jr. was dropped off by his father, Danielle still wasn't home. That's when Joe knew something was wrong. She wouldn't have missed that. No way, he later remarked. Both Danielle and Richard was close to their family. They was in contact with their family a lot of time throughout the day. When Joe arrived at Danielle's home that afternoon to drop off little Joe, he found her family there, but no Danielle. John tried to cover it by saying she couldn't be there right now. She asked him to take care of Joe Jr. in her absence. However, as the hours went by without a word, the family panicked and they reported them missing. Unlike the police, Danielle's family wasn't about to wait 48 hours to start the search. When the night fell, John and Richard Sr. drove through the city streets, checking on the highways and everything to look for their kids, but they didn't find them. They even checked the city waterways and overpaths, including the Walt Waterman, Ben Franklin, and Bessie Rose Bridge. Finally, at sunrise, they went home. That day, friends and volunteers organized a grid search covering hundreds of miles in every direction, carrying pictures of Richard's truck and his license plate, YFH2319. John spent over $1,200 hiring a Camden police officer to search in a helicopter, which they used to source the city above. But no one found anything. According to a report, a police deputy said, "John, no one's ever going to find anything." "What do you mean?" John asked. "It's too clean." Despite several searches, no sign of Danielle, Richard, nor the truck could be found. There were no witnesses account for them leaving the bar. They didn't appear to be on any toll bridges cameras after leaving the restaurant. And when investigators checked the couple bank account, credit cards, and cell phone, nothing usual came up. In 2014, FBI Special Agent Vito Riselli, the investigator in charge of the case now, put out a press release statement. Making two people in a truck disappear with no witnesses, no evidence of any kind for 9 years suggests a lot of planning. It's possible a perpetrator could just get lucky, but it's more likely just wanting to look like someone behind them knew what they was doing.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people assume it was a murder for hire plot. Given how clean and abruptly they disappeared without any evidence left behind, that calls for a lot of explanation. The first person that authorities wanted to interview to, the last person that seen Richard and Danielle before they vanished, Richard's friends, Anthony and Michelle, were both questioned multiple times, but the detective felt like they wasn't involved in the disappearance. The next logical suspect was Danielle's husband. However, his alibi was verified. Joe was 50 miles away at a children's birthday party that day, at a party at which his stepfather, a former NYPD officer, was attending. Joe took a polygraph test as well, but the results, do you want to guess?
Were inconclusive.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's that fail or pass. We both know he didn't pass it.
Yeah, it almost looks like it was set up, like he knew to be away, and then you kind of said something about
Theory, my love, theory, because you fit get into it. During the investigation, it was revealed that Joe possessed the password to Danielle's voicemail and accessed her account multiple times in the months leading up to her disappearance. Another fact that came to light was that Joe made several threats, phone calls to Richard, both at his home and his workplace, during the same time frame, warning him to stop seeing his wife.
I'm sold.
Nevertheless, no solid evidence for Joe's involvement in this case was seen. He denied everything. He said he didn't do it. It wasn't him.
His polygraph test came in inconclusive. He was 50 miles away. He had threatened Richard. He had broken into her voicemail account. Come on now.
According to the FBI, we had not identified anybody as a suspect, but we're not ruling out anybody. Everybody is ruled in this point. A tip was received from a local waitress about a broken gate near the Delaware River It appeared that someone had driven through it. A search was conducted by the river and area near it. Several vehicles were found, but not Richard's car. In 2021, the FBI released a new statement reporting that new evidence has came in a promising lead. However, nothing came through.
Dang.
In March 2002, a private Oregon-based search recovery dive team known as the Adventure with Purpose announced that they was working on the case. The team has solved 11 out of 36 missing people cases since 2021 and carried out multiple dives in Delaware River. This case is still open, but actively investigated by the FBI Philadelphia Police Department. And that's it, guys. This case is still open.
There's not a lot after they left that bar to go off of.
But before we end this case, let's remember the couple that went missing. They were just out having fun. They was kissing and listening to music. Richard believed that he found the love of his life. Their story is supposed to be a second chance love story, not a true crime case. They both was dedicated parents and loved their children. Their children has grown up, but they don't know where their father or mother went. This is the case of Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone. Now let's get into some theories. You or me?
You.
Okay, I take the lead. Do I think it's the ex-husband? Yes. I'm going to be honest. Yes. Because a man like that, he's losing control of his wife. He don't like to lose control. Trust me. Controlling men, they need control. They need it.
It's a safety blanket for them, right?
Right. He broke into her phone, listened to her voicemail. He knew about Richard. I feel like she really loved Richard. Because it's how everybody talked about them. They love each other. I think she didn't want him involved in that situation with Joe. She was like, hey, let me solve this problem first and then I come back to you. But it seemed like, faith happened. They saw each other kissing and hugging. It's just sad that, like, when I hear this, I'm like, man, it isn't supposed to end like this. It's supposed to be like a love story, a second chance. Everybody, I love romance books, so trust me, I love this.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be running in the sunset with their kids, not like us talking about true crime. It's like hard.
Have their happily ever after.
Yeah. But sad they didn't get that. I don't know how it happened that night. Like, I like to picture it. I felt like something happened before they got in the car, before them not to like get on any highways because they saw them. Was it an opportunity? Because the husband, he was gone, but she's supposed to stay at home that day. She was out with her friends. She didn't have no plans to meet up with Richard at all. Because his sister's supposed to win, but she's like, hey, you go in my place.
Right.
I think she was trying to, like, do like a parent trap moment, like, oh, yeah.
Setup, like a blind date.
Like a setup, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Joe, honestly. Even if he didn't do it in person, maybe he had some help. But like you said, he wanted that power. He wanted that control. And when he lost, he's not good at losing. Mm-hmm. So he's going to do whatever he can to gain that back. And I feel like part of the reason that she didn't want to go with Richard is because she already seen the type of man that Joe was. That he's always going to like pester her, hinder. That she was like, you know what? Like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be happy. And I feel like maybe that's why she was pushing off Richard. But Richard was persistent. He was like, no, like, I can show you a good life. I can love you how a man is supposed to love you. I can give you your happy ending. But I feel like just when they were about to get close, Joe couldn't accept that.
A little thought. What if Joe did, we're not saying it was him, guys, it's a theory. What if it was a murder to hire, but the person was going for Richard? What if that person was really like watching Richard, but Danielle just came out of nowhere? She wasn't supposed to be there that night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Richard had these plans. He was like, I'm going to go out, hang out. That person was probably watching him. And then they probably, if it was Joe, called him like, hey, your ex-wife is here too. He probably got mad, was like, take her out too. She cheating on me. Because that's the craziest thing about this man. I forgot him some guys.
Because he did threaten him, right?
He threatened him. He said, leave my wife alone. Like, he probably like, leave my wife alone. Leave our family alone. I don't miss my wife. Bro, you left her.
Right.
Only reason you came back is because your new woman didn't want you no more.
It didn't work out.
What if the new one probably didn't even know he was married?
What if the new woman didn't put up with all his craziness, controllingness, just abusive behavior, toxic traits?
Because he left his wife and kid. For him to leave like that, he wanted that life. Yeah. He came back for a reason. Because he like, oh, usually a man come back like that because his new thing didn't work out. And he like, okay, let me go back to something safe. But she stood up for herself. She was like, no, I'm not taking you back. Because it was story that he threw his child high chair. You threw your child high chair? You can't get that mad and throw your kid stuff or any stuff. You was to walk off from a situation if you get that mad. Go for a walk. Go for a drive.
Right.
Go eat a cheeseburger. Drink a glass of wine. I don't know. Like, just chill out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with the police. I feel like the police are right, and it's going to be hard because if it was a murder to hire situation, you have to find a person who did it. Because usually if you do it, find a person, they snitch it for a second. They be like, he paid me to do this. Because they ain't real. They ain't not real. They snitches.
I just feel like whoever grabbed them right when they left the bar. Because like you said, there was no video footage of them in the highway. So like they probably took the back roads. Like this person knew what they were doing. And honestly, to plan something like this, to plan any kind of murder, there has to be a lot of things that you have to think about and resolve. And unless like you're a skilled killer, like that's not going to happen. Now, the question is, did Joe have a lot of money?
I don't know. But I mean, his stepfather was an NYPD officer. It wasn't hard for him to like know something. Because that's who person said, oh, like, he was here. But think about it. They was out late at night. It wasn't hard for him like, hey, watch little Joe while I go out real quick. 50 miles. I don't know how long that would take. Say like 2 hours at the most.
That or, he probably knew some crooked cops or something.
Crooked people.
Crooked people.
Our main suspect is Joe.
I mean, that's the only suspect that they had.
Because Richard, he worked at a bakery. What was he doing bad, really?
Did he have a wife?
No, he was a single father.
Oh.
So that's the sad thing about like his daughter. I think it's harder for his daughter because she saw her dad like falling in love. Like he said, like, this is the one. He told his daughter that. And like she was 14. Like she has no closure because she don't know where her dad at. And that's the hardest part. I mean, and little Joe, he probably don't remember his mom. He was 18 months.
Dang.
I don't think Joe Sr. would have even told him really about his mom's situation,
Probably not.
Joe should be like, I don't know. It's just hard because I feel like it's so hard because Richard was a dedicated single father. Like the little girl, I don't know if her mom was involved, but he was the primary parent. So he dealt with her a lot. So that gotta be the hardest part because teen years are the hardest years, and that's when she need like a parent the most.
Yeah.
And for her to like lose her dad and you don't even know where your dad is. That's the hardest part. Like, where is he? Like, where's the body? Where's his car? Where's all this situation? You don't even know. And that's the sucky part about it. I think it was a murder to hire plot because like the police said, it was too clean. When the police say it's too clean, it's too clean.
Yeah.
Because no evidence, nothing. They mean like this person, like you said, knew what they was gonna do. They knew this. They planned this. But also, I really think Richard was the main one. I think when she came out with him, that's when the person probably called like, hey, like, this they together. Do I do it now? I don't know because she broke up with him.
Right.
So I don't know if it was Joe, was he killing him off because he wanted to take his place? Even though I feel like even if he killed Richard off, she still probably got back with him. Because she broke up with Richard. Like, I'm done with you.
But sometimes they rather see them by themselves than with somebody else being happy. Because at the end of the day, they can control that situation. Once she's happy with another man, he loses control, which is something that I feel like he struggles with. So,
It's like you asked for the divorce. You left her. And now that she's moving on, being happy, oh, you're so mad. You threatened her. You threatened her new man. You weak. You're a weak man for that.
But people like that, they don't like to lose. They don't like to lose control, especially. So, I don't know.
It's a sad case, guys. It's really a sad case. Like, it's hard because the police have no evidence. They have nothing because everything's just so clean.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to report on it. Not report. It's hard for us to like talk about it because it's like
That's all we got.
that's all we got.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for coming back for another week of our podcast. As we say, follow us on all social medias. I am doing True Crime 1 Minute on our TikTok, YouTube page, and Instagram page. Come check us out. And if you have a case suggestion, tell us, send it to us, email, comment, or we have a link where you can go. I have a couple people that has offered me to do a case. You know what? I think the month of December, guys, I'm going to do case suggestions. I already have like 3 people, so it's like, I'm going ahead and do it for you guys.
Sounds good.
So follow us on TikTok, Instagram, our Facebook group. We're
YouTube.
everywhere. Yeah, YouTube. Come to YouTube. See our beautiful faces talking about the crime. I know you're like, oh, they're not fancy with their videos yet, but guys, we are getting there. We are a new podcast. We're trying our hardest. So stay with us. We love you guys. So if you want to be the month of December where we talk about case suggestions, cases, go ahead, email me. Let me know. This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And don't forget, everybody's a suspect.
Until proven innocent.
See you next week and see your case suggestion cases in. Bye.
Lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break? Or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now. Lesbian detective. Lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready. Let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.